Hey everyone, tonight we're here with Claiborne Fields. He's a defensive back coming out in this year's draft. He's a 2024 NFL prospect. He played at Chattanooga this past year. He previously played at Marist up in upstate New York. How are you doing, Clay?
Good, good. How are you, Nick? I appreciate you having me here.
No, of course, man. I'm doing good. So kind of just want to give Clay an opportunity to share a little bit about his story, so scouts and evaluators could better get a feeling for who he is on and off the field, and try to help him out a little bit before the draft next week. So I guess really we could start out if you want, I guess share a little bit about your journey to where you are today and kind of how you got here. It's kind of a special interview. Also, me and Clay were teammates back in high school and stuff like that. So definitely want to help him out and see, if this could benefit him. But yeah, so if you want to walk us through a little bit, I guess, maybe from it was high school, getting into college, playing ball, and kind of where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. Coming out of high school, definitely a underrated player. Didn't have many offers. My main offer that I had coming out of high school was Marist College up in Poughkeepsie, New York. While at Marist, played. I was there for about 5 years. Played four, and yeah, my red my redshirt sophomore year, I was All American,
Mhm.
AP All American. Then my redshirt junior year before I transferred, I was the number one graded safety in the country across all levels. Um, Once I wanted to get in the portal just because first, mainly, I wanted to give my young guys a chance to develop and give them also a chance to play just because I've been there for so long. And just another thing was I just wanted to prove to scouts that I could play with guys that are NFL ready. Um, so that was one of the main reasons I transferred to Chat, mainly because SoCon is known for having good players, one of the top FCS conferences in the country.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, once I got there, it was a rough start in the beginning. Um, then I played. I didn't play too much, but towards the end, I started to play a lot more, and even up starting the last 5 or 6 games. Um, while I was at Chat, I moved around, played every position, uh, free, strong, nickel. Um, yeah, and now trained at X3 down in Nashville, Tennessee, and now we're here after a couple pro days and a local day. Now we're here.
Got you. So I know, you kind of talked a little bit about Maris and then chat and kind of those experiences. How would you say you were maybe used differently at each place? I know you've kind of played a lot of different positions defensively, safety, corner, nickel, strong safety, stuff like that. So yeah, maybe just talk a little bit about defensively how you were used at both places.
The schemes were a little bit different. Just to start off at Maris, we ran a 3-3-5 versus down at Chat when we went a 4-2-5.
Okay.
Um, a little different in terms of like a lot of the scheme and plays that we ran. Like first off, Maris were more of a one high cover three shell type of team.
Okay.
Many different disguises. While down at Chat, we're actually a cover four, heavy cover four team. A lot of man to man. A lot of big differences just because playing at Maris, I was used to playing a lot of zone, cover three, cover two, different variations of that. Then once I came down to Chat, we played a lot more man to man with our cover fours, cover ones, different things like that. Um, yeah, so it was just little adjustments that I had to get used to. But overall, I felt like it was a great experience learning both because nowadays, um, teams are becoming a lot more pass heavy.
Hmm.
So getting used to playing a lot more man to man now, um, definitely benefited me in the long run.
Okay. Um, and kind of, I know obviously part of the reason you had mentioned you transferred was also to like show that you were, able to play against NFL ready talent. What would you say kind of your if there was any difference between your time at Marist versus Chat, whether it was like competition level or kind of maybe practices were run differently, just in terms of like how that um new program maybe has gotten you even more ready for your next step playing professionally.
Definitely. Just in terms of like first, like you said, competition, definitely a step up. A lot of better guys that I'm seeing in the SoCon that are actually in the draft as well.
Mhm.
And like these guys that we're playing, they are NFL ready. Some are gonna make it to the 53 man rosters. Some are even just gonna have at least a chance to get invited to mini camps and stuff like that. So like even with that, it preparing for those guys is a little different than Mariners, just because, like I said before, we're a little more man heavy.
Mhm.
So we have to get used to covering certain routes and seeing the field a little differently than we typically would just in like a regular cover three, cover five zones and things like that.
Okay.
It's just a little different mindset, but ultimately, I feel like is still kind of the same.
Okay. So obviously I know you're very like obviously very versatile in terms of the different schemes and positions you've played. But I guess are there any players maybe past or present that you kind of study or try to take pieces of their game from? I know obviously playing DB, your coverage skills, you prioritize, you played in the box, I know, and like to kind of come down and hit. So not sure. Is there anybody that you kind of watch film of or try to mimic parts of their game or?
Definitely. Well, growing up, my dad kind of installed in me that if playing defense, you're supposed to punish the offense.
Hmm.
So a big person for me in the beginning of my career definitely was trying to watch Brian Dawkins and Troy Polamalu because at the end of the day, um, people want like coaches want guys that make plays. So that's why I studied Palomalu heavy, Ed Reed, those guys. But then at the same time, tackling is just as important as making those plays, those all those interceptions and things like that. So that's why Brian Dawkins, guys like that, just were really I really try to like focus my the way I played just based off those guys as a mixture.
Okay. That makes sense. So I know you kind of haven't talked about it much, but I mean, anybody who's probably watched film on you, especially at Marist, knows that you have a lot of like special teams value, kind of, being a gunner, but also like as a return man, from when you were back at Marist, you had a few different, touchdown returns, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of want to give you a chance to just kind of talk about what value you think you add to special teams. Do you see yourself as somebody that has the ability to offer to I guess offer your abilities on returns, or do you think that you have the ability to be a gunner? Like just in terms of obviously being a rookie, you'll have to be expected to play special teams. So just want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about that and where you think you add value.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. Like you said, when you watch film, especially Chattanooga, Marist, I'm on almost every special teams.
Mhm.
If I'm not the starter, I'm the first backup that's coming in, and definitely that definitely to me makes a difference because it just shows that I want to do it, and
Mhm.
no matter like how high up I think I am, no one ever is not good enough just to play special teams, and
Good
I think
mindset to
that's
have.
and coming in as a rookie, just I just want to show guys that yes, I would love to play, be the returner, punt return, kick return, but at the same time, um, definitely I have no problem being in the front line on kick return, or being one of the guys on kickoff, or even being, like you said, being a gunner. When you watch film on me in special teams, I played all a million different positions, whether that's on the line on punt, going to block the punt, a bunch of different things. So yeah, I feel like I bring a lot of value in terms as a player, just that a guy that's willing to play special teams.
Yeah, I mean that's big time, especially in terms of like just being different compared to different guys who are coming out this year in the draft who play DB also. That you have a background playing all those different spots, special teams wise.
Hmm.
Um, so with you being so versatile and kind of different schemes and playing different positions week after week, even at chat, how would you say you kind of go about studying film to get ready for a game? Do you I mean look at specific things, or is it more like dependent on what your matchup is for that week or what position you're
Hmm.
going to be playing for the game plan or
It's kind of like you said, it's a mixture of both. Just in terms of, first, I kind of want to understand what what kind of scheme that offense runs. What what's their big plays, and what's also at the same time their safety plays that they feel comfortable that they can run on anybody. At
Mhm.
the same time, understanding that, then that leads into me going into my matchup for that week, whether that's me playing nickel, trying to understand who's in the slot, or even at the same time, if I'm playing free or strong, just understanding different cues from QBs in terms of, because a big thing that I seen a lot in the SoCon was the RPO game. So
Okay.
just different tells with that in terms of hand placement with the quarterback, whether if I could kind of tell if he's going to throw or he's going to hand it off, things like that. Yeah.
Do you feel like it was an adjustment in terms of like reading things like moving up from Marist to SoCon, or was it kind of like pretty similar in like what your instincts are have translated?
I think it's just it's similar, just in a sense that it's not as difficult to read it, but the
Okay.
only difference is in terms of what they're running. Because playing in the Pioneer League, a lot of teams like to do like hitches or outs with their RPO games, versus with the SoCon, a lot more people like doing slants, bang eights, with their RPO. So it's pretty similar in terms of reading it, but at the same time, it's just different of what they're running.
Gotcha. Okay. So, just want to give you a chance to kind of share maybe what some of your best traits or attributes are for people who are out there who may have watched your film or may not have yet. What do you think some of your, best traits or attributes are?
Definitely my situational awareness, just
Okay.
understanding like down and distance and like spacing with offensive play calls, because that plays a big part in like how I want to disguise things, or how kind of I want to play it,
Okay.
and it kind of like how I can mix our scheme kind of like to disguise stuff, like mixing it all together with their scheme and our scheme, and what looks and how I could get there, try to make a play. Another thing I think I bring to the table is very coachable. Um, Definitely, I the way I definitely want to say that I'm a great chemistry guy in
Okay.
terms of learning the other DBs, my linebackers, my D linemen, just understanding how they play, so I can adjust myself to their kind of play style in terms of how I want to fit the run, or how slow or fast I want to get to the run.
Okay.
Because a little bit of a difference was the linebackers at Chat move I would say moved a little faster
Okay.
than my linebackers at Maris. So I could be a little slower. So that helps me out with the
Mhm.
RPO game a lot. Um at the same time, lot of chemistry with my DBs because, like I said, we play a lot more man to man.
Hmm.
So depending on what side I'm on and who I'm with, I'm either gonna be more locked up to my man, or I could play a little more freely, just for the reason that we could switch off a lot easier and just we could just all be a lot more free and we're all just on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah, then along with that, just even making adjustments during the game, just make it easier for our defensive coordinator. Just because if I feel like since we're out there, it's a little bit easier for us to try to like figure out how to fix something. Um, so yeah, so it just makes his job easier and just you know just we can move along and we all see the same thing and we're all on the same page and no one's guessing at all.
Okay. Was there anything else on that, or you're
That's pretty much it.
okay? So kind of to piggyback off of that, obviously a lot of people don't kind of talk about weaknesses, but kind of just curious, is there anything that you feel like you may have a weakness in your game or on your tape that it's something that you're trying to work on?
Oh, no, definitely. Everyone has weaknesses. It's just sometimes that some people are afraid to like express them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
S-
Yep.
Yeah. So like in terms for me, first when I first came to chat, it was a little more of a discipline type of thing.
Hmm.
Just sometimes I gotta slow down a little bit, and I definitely over this past year definitely worked on that. One thing I noticed was sometimes I'm hot. I get a little high in the games in terms of like my technique and things like that.
Okay.
So this off season definitely been one of those things that I focused on, and you noticed it a lot more at my pro days. I have a lower pad level. My eyes are getting a lot better. Um, and I want to say, yeah, I feel like for me so far, those are the main things I wanted to focus on.
Okay. And just so like people don't get confused or anything, when you say discipline, I'm guessing like more like on the field in terms of like what you're seeing. I just don't want people to get mixed up in terms of like
Oh
off.
yeah, definitely, definitely. No, I understand what you're saying. Just in terms of sometimes I get to the play too fast instead
Okay.
of letting the play develop. And like for example, if it's in a run, I might rerun very early, and I
Gotcha.
might shoot my gap instead of letting the D linemen and linebackers, you know, clog up holes, make the picture a lot more clear for me in order so I can go make a tackle if I have to or not.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, So, okay, kind of curious between, you played at two different programs and had a lot of success at both. What are some of your best memories you would say maybe throughout your college journey? I know at Marist you had a pretty crazy like personal performance one game, but I don't know if there's like any specific moments that stick out to you that are going to stick with you.
I guess I got a couple. The first one that's at Marist was my last year there. We were down at Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. With the last minute and a half, I ran a 90-yard punt return back for a touchdown. Then about let's say 45 to 60 seconds later, I came back into the game and actually caught a 75-yard pick six, which actually won us the game to put us up by 14. So yeah, that was one of my favorite memories. Then also, one I had in chat is my only pick of the year, unfortunately, with a lot of drops. But in the playoffs, we played Furman,
Mhm.
and that interception was very big to me personally because it was my first of the year, but at the same time, it was the beginning of the playoffs. I mean, it was the second round of the playoffs. The very beginning of the game, and it was a tone setter for the
Yep.
rest of the game, and it just really meant a lot to me just because that I know how much as a team, we needed that just
Yep.
to get us started and get us rolling for the game.
Okay. Um, so, I know you've kind of talked a little bit about your background and kind of how you've gotten to where you are now. Is there anything else maybe that you haven't shared that you think makes your journey different or unique compared to other prospects?
I think my journey is a little bit different than most prospects just because a lot of my career I was very underrated. Even coming into the portal as a past All American and um also the number one greatest safety in the
Yeah.
country, I felt like I was still underrated just in terms of some of the offers that I did get. I thought that I would have had, I mean, a couple more
Yeah.
FBS offers, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I'm still grateful for the offers that I got, and just showed all the hard work that I did pay that paid off. So yeah, I just like I said, I feel like I'm a very unique, unorthodox guy and playing DB, and I feel like I can add on to our organization very well, just in terms of the locker room and onto the field.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. It probably just bless you. Sure, it probably just added like more of a chip on your shoulder, but it's I guess in hindsight, it's kind of like everything that's meant to be will work out how it's supposed to. But I definitely feel you on that in terms of the transfer portal stuff. Um, so I know we've been talking a lot about football, stuff like that. Are there any fun hobbies or interesting stuff about you maybe that not a lot of people know?
Um, Actually, I don't even think you know this. If it wasn't for football, I actually would have went to the Culinary Institute. That's actually
Really?
right down the street from Maris. Um,
Really? That's
yeah,
wild.
in high school, I was very into like cooking. I mean, I'm still into it. I still do it sometimes here and there, but
Yeah.
I'm a big foodie, like trying
Yeah.
different foods, cooking food. That that's actually a good hobby of mine that I'm actually very into. So yeah.
Did so like when you were in like college and like even high school, did you do like the cooking classes and stuff?
Not really. I wasn't too really into doing a lot of that. I do a lot of like a lot of the cooking I do, like I'll see on like YouTube or
Oh,
cooking channel, and like
yeah.
I'll try making new foods and things like that. I kind of learn a lot on my own,
Yeah.
and I kind of like cook to my own taste.
Yeah.
So it's a so that's why it's a little different for me just in
Yeah.
terms of like I know what I like. So like in
Yep.
terms of like seasoning food, marinating food, like it's really more to my tasting, not to many others, but at the
Yeah.
same time I can cook for people if I need to be.
That's cool, man. Um, so obviously I know you kind of talked about what you've been up to the last couple months and like all the pro days and stuff and local days. Do you want to tell us maybe a little bit about how those went? I know you did one at University of Tennessee, one at Chat, and then you had I think a local day or two. So maybe share a little bit about that.
I felt like those pro days, the numbers that I got were weren't my best ability, but at the same time they still were pretty good when you look at it. At Tennessee, I ran a 4.4.
Yep. I mean,
Um,
that's impressive.
yeah, definitely impressive. I really wanted that 4.3. I've been training hitting those numbers.
Yep.
A lot through this past, I think the last month of my training. But at the end of the day, it's still a good number to hit. Well, in terms of like position work, I feel like a lot of the drills that you see a lot of the stuff like I mentioned before, like me playing higher, being more disciplined in my technique and things like that. You
Mhm.
definitely notice the difference between like me in the beginning of the year to now, definitely.
And then, I guess I'll just ask you a few more questions and then we could start wrapping it up. Want to give you an opportunity to, I guess, give any shout outs to any of your guys back at Marist or Chat. that might
Definitely,
that I guess
definitely.
you're still there playing.
Well, I got a lot of the guys at Marist are graduated now, so they're long
Okay.
gone. But I got a couple guys down in chat. Running back Reggie Davis, um, Jordan Walker, Quay Wiggles. Um, I'm trying to think who else down there. Yeah, Ruben Lowry, those type of guys that those guys definitely made my time at Chat definitely special. Especially just welcome me into their family and like not treating me different just because I was a transfer. So
Gotcha. Um, kind of talked a little bit about different challenges you kind of faced throughout your journey. I'm just curious, like how do you handle challenges like just in life and then also football? Like what is your thought process? How do you handle those things as they come up?
sometimes you just gotta take them on the chin and you just gotta keep pushing because sometimes some challenges are outside of your control. And sometimes you just gotta me and my friends down at chat, we say this a lot actually. Sometimes you just gotta stay down and just stay the course. Because sometimes some challenges just want to see how you're gonna react to it.
Yep,
So if you just keep working through them and take it step by step, eventually you're gonna get to the brighter side. So
that's a great way to look at it.
hmm
Um, I kind of curious. I know you've played a lot of different positions. What would you say your favorite coverage is and why?
oh, that's a little hard.
Probably
All right.
hard, yeah, playing all the different schemes and stuff like that, but
Um definitely man. I de it definitely grew on me playing cover four.
okay.
The new age cover four, kind of like man to man palms type of thing. Definitely my favorite coverage just because it's man to man, but at the same time you can still zone off and
Okay.
become a robber and things like that. So I think that definitely has become one of my favorite coverages just because that it gives me that same feeling that I can roam around a little bit and be free and read the QB while at the same time still getting that man to man look that that all DBs love to do. So
Okay. And then we could wrap it up. Just want to give you a chance to make, I guess, one last pitch really to any scouts or evaluators that might be looking at this video, and considering bringing you into their organization and really taking a chance on you.
definitely. You're I just want people to know that you're getting a guy that you're getting his 100%. He's coming in he's coming in ready to work. I'm not one of those guys that's just happy just to be there. I'm coming here to work. At the same time, I want to play, so I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work the most I can, whether that's even working my way up through first getting on the 53, getting through special teams, then eventually working my way up onto the field. So getting a guy that's ready to work, very coachable, um, great locker room guy, guy that brings a lot of people together and allows them to be themselves on and off the field, and a guy that's very versatile and the guy that's able to actually play with different types of people on the field, whether that's a lockdown corner or a zone corner. Just you're getting the guy that's versatile and has seen and played with a lot of different people in his career. So yeah, I feel like you're getting a guy that is great for the team and for the organization.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, really appreciate you taking the time to do this and really hope it helps you out and wish you the best of luck. I guess in a week, yeah, the draft starts. So wish you the best of luck with that in the journey.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here, Nate.
Of course, man.